Welcome to part 2 of this Gateway 2000 P5 120 on the bench here. Today we are going to attempt to archive the contents of the hard drive, which is very full. We're going to be using this device here, which as you can see plugs right into the IDE port and goes to USB. And it's going to go into my Windows 11 PC, and we're going to show you the process of making a virtual drive and then setting that drive up in VirtualBox so that it can boot from it. This has been a journey. As you can see, the cover's back on, the gateway is all back together, and fresh install Windows 95 has been done. That hard drive there is the clone that I made using one of these, Ultimate Boot CD. This is something I learned about a long time ago. It allowed me to clone the drive. If you got access to Ghost, that's great. That works just as well. But what I'm going to attempt to do here is explain the convoluted methods I had to go through to get this done. This was not pretty, and it did not quite go how I wanted to, but I want to document my mistakes and shortcomings, because transparency is a big deal to me. So first, let me start with this thing. I've had great luck with this device. This little Unitech. I've had fantastic luck. But apparently it does not like the older IDE drives. I tried on 2 systems to get that drive to detect and show up, and it kind of showed up on the Linux machine down there, but it was showing 0 megabytes and wouldn't let me mount it. So I made a clone. This is my Windows XP machine, by the way. This is a Omnitech. I've had this for 15 years. I bet longer than 15 years. This has been a fantastic machine. I've done so much stuff with this. Pentium 3, 933, 512 megs of RAM, which is maxed out for this Intel board. It's not the fastest XP machine in the world, but it does get the job done, and it does it pretty good. I can't complain. So I ended up using this to clone the original drive to that drive, so that way I had just a copy that I could just set aside and just hold off, and then that allowed me to clear that drive in there and start afresh with a fresh install. My plan was I wanted to virtual machine that installation of Windows. Basically, what I ended up having to do was the software I used to image the drive in this main drive in this computer. I needed a 32-bit version to do that because I was actually going to take it from the physical drive. It wasn't going through that interface there. And I found a copy of that, and I will show you that. And I actually got the drive to, I actually got the imaged and got it to run in Windows Virtual Machine 2007, which that alone took me back to my MCP days and whatnot. Windows XP to the rescue. This was a chore. So far as proof of concept, this does work. We're going to try it on the new PC too. But we had some steps and challenges to get to this point. While I have this up, this is the interface for the Ultimate Boot CD. What I did was I used it at HDD. And it's got several diagnostics, OEM diagnostics. If you can think it, it's probably on here. You can modify bootloaders and data recovery. This is what I was under there, was cloning, and I use this copy wipe. It works really well, but there's these other options too here. This is a dual boot machine actually. I do have a fairly current version of Slackware on here, but most of the time we just use good old Windows XP here. We'll let it load up and then we'll come back. So I did get a copy of this in VirtualBox, and I set it up basically how it was and the system came from. However, I am not really overly impressed with its performance. It's very buggy. It's got lots of errors that come up whenever you try and access stuff. I mean, it does essentially do what you want it to do, but it is insanely fast. But I had to tweak the startup. A lot of stuff is just broken in here. And as you can see, its performance is not very good at all. I think it's I think it actually may be locked up. At a minimum though, I accomplished what I wanted, which was to have an image that I could burn back to a hard drive or do whatever with, even though I'm probably never realistically going to. I mean, there was 5 megabytes free in the partition when everything was running. It's a bunch of, data that's someone else's personal data probably. I just liked that it was an original gateway install, that was intact from, when it was made. Yeah, this is, oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's pretty buggy. But where I really got some grip and some traction was on this here. This is my Windows XP machine. We're up and running. Virtual PC. The minimum system requirements for this is, I think it's a 1 gigahertz. We're actually just under the minimum system requirements, and I will admit it's not quick when it's running, but it does run. I have it here. Start it up. I actually preserved its state, but oh, come on now. A little camera shy here. Oh, yeah, I lost the mouse somewhere there. Let's try and restart it here. Anyways, it's all there. It's all there. I didn't have to really mess with drivers. I didn't get a lot of errors. I do get some every once in a while, but it basically this was a much smoother experience than VirtualBox, which, as you can see, I keep getting registry problems. It's a mess. So, should you try and virtualize your systems? I'm going to say no. I mean, unless it's something mission critical or something like that, the best thing to do is just start fresh. Because this has been an absolute pain. I thought this was going to be a quick, easy video, and it has been anything but a quick, easy video. But I will demonstrate quick. We do have the gateway. I even found a set of keys for it, and it does in fact lock out the keyboard and the mouse. So yeah, forgive me. Wasn't quite 100% sure which direction I was going with this video, but I did want to try and piece it together here. Like I said, this has been an absolute mess and a disaster, but I kind of wanted to chronicle it to see how easy it could be done. By the way, yesterday was 30 years since Windows 95. It's starting right up, nice and quick. And we are in much better shape than we were when we started there. A lot more free space, a lot of space for activities. So I think we'll close this video out here. I'll piece together what I've got. I'll try and make it coherent or somewhat easy to follow. But should you physically clone your physical machines? Only if you're feeling lucky, I guess. There's a program called Disk to VHD 32-bit. It's this version 1.63. That is the version you need if you're going to image a drive or make a virtual drive on a 32-bit system. I found this on a Reddit post, which led me to a page where they were actually keeping it. The current version, it looks like it has a 32-bit version, but it does not function on a 32-bit machine. So if you're going to do 32-bit hard drive, virtual hard drives, this is the software you need. Disk to VHD. The interface is very similar. So it comes up with the two drives there, and you put the name of what you want it to be, whether you want to prepare it for use in a virtual PC. Make sure the one you want is checkmark, and it will create a file for you. And that's how you make virtual hard drives, which I will show here just real quick. My virtual machines. And I made 2 copies. I made a copy that I actually use in the virtual machine, and an actual copy of it that I just keep, just as like a static. Like, this is if I want to burn it back to a hard drive or what have you. But this other one here is the one I actually use in the virtual machine. If I modify it or if I corrupt it, then I have the other one to fall back on. So that's my method of madness for that craziness. I figured I would record the spin up of this drive. I know some people are really into that, so it's plugged into the computer. We'll turn this on here. Oh, hang on a second. I almost forgot the golden rule of computing. Is it plugged in and is it turned on? Well, now it's currently plugged in and we're about to turn it on. Here we go.